You got Mark here, and I just wanted to make a short little video about ZCAM and recording H265 and editing ZCAM's H265 output. Now, there's been a lot of talk on the forum about, you know, various editing modes, and some people are using DaVinci. A lot of folks actually use Final Cut Pro, which is an excellent editor. There's no doubt about that. But there's editors and then there's editors. When you want to talk about actually editing specifically H265, and you need an editor that's actually built around H265 and actually can handle very specifically H265, and not just the 8-bit or 10-bit H265 420 that the ZCAMs are recording. There's also in H265 12-bit and 16-bit. And what you really need, if you're very serious about editing, particularly if you're doing any kind of work for commercial broadcast, discovery, that kind of work, if you're doing stuff for the cinema, you need Avid Media Composer. Now, there are editors, and then there's Avid Media Composer Ultimate. There is nothing on the face of this planet for editing like Avid Media Composer and ZCAM editing your ZCAM footage. This is what you want. There are so many things about this editor that are so superior to anything else that's out there. Now, here's a timeline. And I'll tell you something about this little test we did here. 2 little time-lapse tests I've been doing from my movie called Beautiful Country, which is a time-lapse epic that I've been working on for the past year and a half. And I hope to have it out by the end of the summer. We'll see how the work goes. It takes forever. But back to what I'm saying about H265. One interesting thing about Media Composer is it is an amazing editor that will scale to anything that you want to do. Like if you want to do a home movie with your ZCAMs, this is your machine. If you want to do a $200 million movie where the production is spread out on 3 continents, Avid Media Composer will scale to that production. It's built for it. There is nothing like it. Now look at this, Media Offline. Here is my bin with my clips. You'll notice that when I click on them, they don't show up in the monitor here. That's because they were linked to their sources. You see, you don't have to ingest your video to edit in Media Composer. And of course, what I had plugged in is no longer connected. So the nice thing I like about it is you can have a very small hard drive with Media Composer. And this is on a MacBook Pro 16-inch 2020 with the 8 gigabyte HBM2 GPU, the Radeon, the AMD Radeon 5600M, which is an unbelievable, incredible graphics card. And as you know, in editing applications, graphics cards are what do all the heavy lifting. So if you really want something that will handle your ZCAM H265 recordings without hiccup, without even having to actually ingest them into your computer to edit, then you want Media Composer. See, what happens here is I only have the editor will only need to render that which you edit, because editing programs are just catalog programs. They're catalog files with pointers that point to where the data is on whatever hard drive or, solid state media you're using, etc. And that's all any editor is, including Final Cut Pro, by the way. But I find that Final Cut Pro does not play well at all with linking stuff and editing. You have to really use Final Cut Pro properly, you have to ingest your media. With Media Composer, you don't. You don't at all, and it works perfectly. And so if I click on the actual footage, if I can get, there we go. See how it goes red? That's saying that the source of the footage was linked and it doesn't exist on the computer. That this program built this in the computer from the linked references and turned it into an edited sequence for output. And it could be QuickTime, because Media Composer used to be wholly and completely based on QuickTime, and now it's not. It has a UME, which is called the Universal Media Engine, which is a major rewrite and upgrade now. It's now a full 64-bit editing platform, and it really doesn't matter what the media is. It'll either import it. If you can't import it, you can link to it. And if you can't link to it, you can consolidate it and turn it into a media that the editing program can understand and can ingest or link to. You can't go wrong with this. I mean, if you've got a deadline and you need something, that will stand and deliver, Media Composer really is the way to go. I can see. Now, this was edited in Composer, but it was colored in DaVinci. I import stuff into DaVinci and then use Auto Color Correct. And 9.5 times out of 10, it looks incredible. Now, as it turns out, I actually don't like the look of this. It's a little bit too silhouette-y, and I'm trying to bring out the mountains here against the sun and that. And I can do that in DaVinci. You can colorize and properly balance anything in DaVinci, really. But Avid Media Composer and DaVinci is killer. This is what 95% of everything that you see on cable and everything you see on television, including the network news and that, is edited on this application. And there's a reason for that. Because this is a mission critical, bulletproof application. And this is the real bee's knees of editing. And I really strongly encourage anybody on the ZCAM forum that if you want to get very serious about editing your H265, in particular, your output from your ZCAM, you really want Media Composer. That's the way to go. So I thank you for your time and have a great day.